Hey fellas, I hope you've had a good week so far, and you're having a good weekend. And Stampede was good for you guys, and you got a chance to go to the grounds, have some fun, and enjoy yourselves. Uh, I think it's important leading up to camp here that you do take a bit of time to relax. So hopefully you got that this week. Uh, this week, the sixth topic. Now, I wanted to talk about intention and how that relates to our preparation and when we do our field sessions and practices. And I think intention is one of those topics that I think it's pretty evident, and um, it's nothing newsworthy, that intention is going to be an important asset when it comes to practice. But I want to talk about it because I think to know that it's important is one thing, and to know why it's important is a whole other thing. So I'll just unpack it a bit, and I'll let you know why I think it's so important for us to bring intention to everything we do on the football field. And I'll just start with saying, and I kind of touched on this, a couple of weeks ago when we were at the field. Um, there is only so many reps. There just is only a limited amount of time. Um, and it gets progressively less as you think about the progression from a practice to a game, and so you only get so many indie reps, and then it's fewer and fewer, from one-on-ones to skelly to team and then the game, and so it's very important to make the most out of every single one of those reps, and you do that by bringing intention to the rep. And by that, I mean, simply you have to set an intention of what you want to get out of it and what it is you want to work on. And I think if you understand what it is that you're trying to work on and what the purpose is of a drill, and there's specific intentions and purpose to every drill. And ultimately, it all feeds into the big picture, which is the game. And you can never lose sight of that. And so if you understand what it is we're trying to achieve when we're doing indie drills, and what it is we're trying to work on when we're doing one-on-ones, then it just hits your memory differently. And if you think about, if I were to ask you to remember a random sequence of numbers, or whatever, numbers, letters, whatever it might be, how many of those would you be able to repeat back to me and be able to recall? Well, probably not very many if it was truly random. Whereas if there was some sort of pattern to it or some sort of reasoning behind the numbers, like as if I were to tell you, remember every multiple of 7, then you're going to be able to recall a sequence of numbers a lot better. Because patterns and, if there's a reason or a why behind it, then it just sticks in your memory better. So that's ultimately what we're trying to achieve. So when we work on a drill in Indy or in field sessions, my goal as a coach, first of all, is to come with drills that are designed with an intention behind them. And so it's not random. I'm trying to achieve something. I'm trying to help you improve a specific skill for a specific situation and a specific reason. So my first goal is to come with those drills. And then my second goal is to be able to articulate and explain what that purpose is for you, so that way you know what it is we're trying to achieve, and therefore increase the likelihood of success, and increase the results and the benefits of that drill. And then if I can, if I can effectively design the drills and I can properly articulate and communicate what it is we're trying to achieve to you as a quarterback, and then your job is then to keep that in mind simply, and just think about it, um, you know, process it so that it's something to think about. In other words, you're not going through the motions. You're thinking about consciously trying to achieve what it is that the drill is intended to achieve. If we can get to that place, we're just going to get so much more out of the reps. which are so limited. And that is going to be the difference that really puts us ahead when it does come time to game time. Another benefit that I'll add to intention and why it's so important, and something that you really have to keep in mind, is that every single time we take to the field and you pick up a football and you're throwing that football and you're doing the drill, and every single time you take a rep, you're gonna build muscle memory. Um, and that's just how the brain works. Every movement you make is engraving a pattern in your brain, and that's exactly what muscle memory is. And so when you go out to the field and you lack intention and you have no particular reason or objective for being there, and you're just going through the motions and you're screwing around and you're not present in the moment with the intention of working on a specific skill, well, you have to understand that you're essentially creating bad habits, and you're ingraining a poor muscle memory into your brain, and it's overlapping all the good habits you work hard to create. And so when you show up and when you mess around, you're working against yourself. And then when you want to create good habits and you want to improve, you got to work even harder to overwrite those bad habits that you've unintentionally created by essentially showing up and going through the motions. So please keep that in mind. And I get that football has to be fun, and we obviously can't lose sight of that. And I don't want our indie periods or our field sessions to be just all business, because that's really the beauty of junior football. Is it's a little more laid back. There is a bit less pressure. This is not a job for you guys. Nobody's getting paid to do this. Okay, well, you do it for the love of the game, and I by no means want to take that away by putting pressure on you um, to be focused and dialed in 100% of the time. But I do think we can bring intention to having fun as well. And I just think we have to be conscious about when we have fun, and we will do that. We will have indie periods and we will incorporate drills where the intention of the drill is to be loose a little bit and to just have a little bit of fun with it. And we'll do that, but it's going to be intentional. And in other moments, and other points in time, when we need to get to work and we need to be serious and we need to get the most out of limited time, then we need to be able to catch ourselves losing focus and bring our focus back into the moment and to the objective at hand. So we'll do both. And, the better we can get at being intentional with our reps and getting the most of them, then the more time and, time that we have to be able to be intentional about having fun indie sessions. And I promise we will do that. Okay, that I will incorporate that, into our practice plan. Um, and I expect from you guys that when it's time to work, we put in the work, and then when it's time to have a little bit of fun with it, that's when we be intentional about that and just enjoying the game. And so I'll just finish with this. It's a challenge. Okay, so I want to challenge you guys to be intentional every time you step onto the field, pick up a football, step into a drill, take a rep as much as you can. Take a moment to just set a little mini intention and give yourself something to be working towards. And that will keep you focused through, throughout the course of the process. And you can come back to that when your mind starts to slip and you start to lose that focus. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It can be as simple as walking into a skelly drill, and saying, I want to work on my anticipation. That's my intention of this period. Or you walk into uh, a one-on-one session and you say, I want to work on my quick game footwork. And then when you're calling the routes, you call routes to work on what you've intentionally stated as your objective of the period. And by doing so, we're going to be more productive every single period and every single time we step on the field. So that's my challenge to you. Take a moment, find those moments to set an intention before you go into a drill or a period, and challenge yourself to come back to it so you can make the most out of it. And you know, with this sort of mindset and approach, I promise you, uh, it will compound. Okay, and it will relate once we expand the picture and game day comes around. Okay, hope this was helpful.